Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Michael Thurville of VEDA World News. You can catch this broadcast on VEDACOM.com. That is VEDACOMM with 2M's.com. And again, I am here with Republican 18th Congressional District hopeful Carmen Montiel.
Thank you very much, Michael, to have for having me again with you.
Yes.
Just love our conversations.
You are a fan favorite. Let me first start off by saying that. And you just notified me that your daughter is a daughter.
One of my daughters. I have two daughters and one son. My middle daughter.
Okay, and she graduated from law school, and she took the bar, and
she graduated in May from law school, and she took the bar at the end of July, and she got the results yesterday, first try, and she passed, and she got sworn in today.
Great. Well, let's first say congratulations on that.
Congratulations. Mi amor, felicitaciones. I'm so proud of you. That's so important. When she sent me the video, and it made me teared up because she's sworn in that she's going to protect the Constitution.
That's good.
And as an immigrant that I am, a first generation immigrant, that my kids were born here, and they're the second generation, and I get to have a daughter. Here I am running for office because I am a legal immigrant that wants to defend the Constitution, and then I get to have one of my kids to be a lawyer and sworn in that she's going to defend the Constitution. It's so powerful and so meaningful.
It's a very good thing. I mean, it's very positive to see that. And this is just a quick, brief annotation here that, for immigrants that come to this country, like my dad is an immigrant from Haiti, we can make it.
We can make it.
And we are making it.
And loving this country.
Yes.
And that's why I say I'm the worst nightmare for the Democrats.
Okay, why do you say that?
Because I am an immigrant that wants to defend the Constitution.
Understood.
That's the worst nightmare because they want the immigrants, the illegal immigrants, to hate the country. And here you have a legal immigrant that loves this country and wants to defend the Constitution, and have a daughter that just sworn in today that she's going to protect the Constitution.
Well, I will tell you that is A+ kudos over here at VEDA World News. Let's do a quick dive into the debate that happened last week. It was a good debate for those that don't know. It was a very good 18th Congressional District debate.
It was very good, yeah.
That was held at the Crown Plaza. But there were some hiccups there. What was the one thing that really struck your nerve during this debate?
Well, there were a couple.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I knew Isaiah was going to attack me because that has become his favorite sport.
Okay, why do you think that is?
He is down in the polls.
Okay.
He has a big ego. Okay, he's a complete narcissist. He wants to attract attention. Remember, he got arrested in Austin when he went to testify, and he always talked about that, something to be proud. And I said, listen, you were disrespectful. Mm-hmm. You completely disrespect where you were, start screaming. And now you think that that's something you should be proud and voters should vote for you? Mm. You are disturbing. You are not a unifier. And I think our position running office is to unify the people, not disturb the situation.
Correct.
And then he thinks that being so low in the polls, because he's like 2% in the polls, that if he attacks me, the only Republican that is up, and I'm consistently, second. All of the others say they're first when they run the polls, but I'm consistently second. That's going to raise him up. Mm. He needs to attack his own people, the Democrats, to raise up.
Now, why do you say that?
Because that's really his competition, not me, because my platform is completely different from him.
Understood.
I will not wear proudly that I went to testify for the people of the district, because in reality, this whole redistricting, hearings, we went to testify to represent the people, already represent the people we want to represent once elected. And then you get arrested. I don't think that's a good representation for our people.
Okay.
Or Yolanda Jones saying, I brought quorum, and she's proud of that, and she left. So we're paying your salary, and whenever things don't go your way, you're going to leave instead of staying there and standing up for the people. So those are two things. that for me are completely against what we mean to do for our people.
And let me say this, we at VEDA World News, we do not take political sides. I am a political atheist. But however, understand something, the fact that you're willing to sit here right now and not cower and give names to what you saw as a testament speaks volumes to you as a candidate. So more power to you with that.
No, thank you very much. And so I knew he was going to attack me because he attacked me once already and edited the video and put it in next with the message he wanted Asaya to transpire to the people. But it was edited. He didn't put my rebuttal, and I just answered and said, you didn't kill me, because he said, oh, I killed her. And I said, you didn't kill me because you didn't put my rebuttal, and here attached is an article that has the explanation of what I said. So I knew, because he's been trying to look for the opportunities, but we've been separated in different groups, so he didn't have the time to be in the same group with me until that day. So I knew he was coming at me at some point, which he did, and I said, I'm not even going to waste, because we only have 30 seconds for the review. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you do.
And I said, listen, I'm not even going to waste my time in reviewing you. I'm just going to go to, you're low in the polls. You have 2%. If attacking me is not going to raise you in the polls, attack your own people.
Gotcha.
And Menefee told me right before that, because 30 seconds is 30 extra seconds, and Menefee was like, name me. So I said, attack your own people like Menefee, and you can see that.
Yes, it was in the video.
And then I said, well, here's your time. And he was like, no, I'm not reviewing that.
Now, we spoke about this off air. What was the reason? Let the viewers know, what was the reason he did not speak?
I think, because I cannot speak his mind. I don't know what went through his mind, so I cannot say. I think that since I went and said, attack your own, which is the Democrats, he didn't want to go there. That's what I think. He didn't want to go there like attacking their own, because what he was going to say, yes, attack me, or, you know, it was a difficult situation. It was not that.
But he asked for that. Did he?
He asked, probably he thought I was going to review, because the review was about Medicaid, you know, the price we're paying, the high price of medications. And what I say is true, you know, President Trump is already thinking target about that. And I gave examples because I am from Venezuela, I travel a lot. I know how inexpensive is any medication once you go south the border.
Yes.
And I put a perfect example of the glaucoma drops. And I said, and President Trump already came, and I just gave the headlines, how he said it, that he's going to lower 1,500%. But what he meant, it's not he didn't mean 1,500%. What he meant when he said that, because, you know, you have to understand President Trump.
Yes.
He exaggerates everything, but under that exaggeration is the true meaning. That means that that's how expensive our medication are. He put it that way to say, it is, our people are taken for a ride. The American people are paying too much for medication in this country, while the rest of the world who benefit, because everybody says, oh, it's because the pharmaceutical companies in the United States, they're the ones who, they do the research, they create the medications, and then we pay the price. But when they sell it in other countries, they're getting the benefit. They get the benefit for a lot less price. And I say, well, okay, I understand, but then we should benefit the same way.
Well, let me ask you, if put in office right now, what would you do to lower prescription medication prices?
Well, see, that's the other thing that was a problem with that question. Okay, that question was not a question for a congressperson, that's a presidential question.
Understood.
And when we run for office, we need to have clear view of what are we going to do as a representative.
Okay.
I cannot do anything, but what I can do is support anything that the president proposed to lower the price of medication.
Understood.
Or the Secretary of Health.
Great answer.
Okay?
Great answer.
So, and that's the thing. That was also, I have to support what the president says, and I have to support, you know, his proposal in that topic, and the proposal of the Secretary of Health, which is Robert Kennedy Jr. That's what, then we go to Congress and we support. That's my role as a representative.
Okay.
I can introduce bills with ideas, But you know how that goes. I introduce the bill, I need to get somebody that is sponsor me, and then we need to push it and then get it to the floor and vote. It takes a process.
And that, you know what, and I don't want to break away from that, because I do have to say your counterpart, Ollie, what is the gentleman's last name? He's running, what is Ollie's last name? Can you recall?
Which one is it?
He's about 70.
Oh,
yes,
the 79. Oh, Ollie Knox.
Yes, Ollie Knox.
Who supposedly is a Republican.
Okay, but he did state that, hey, you know, he would like to have something very similar to what you just stated.
About the medication?
Yeah, about medication, but ensuring that, you know, people had the opportunity to get that medication and different things like that.
Well, see, that's what happened. And what happened is people go, that's how candidates get in trouble. Because you answer questions from a point of view that does not relate to you or what your job description is.
Okay.
Do you understand? They ask me, are you for reducing the price of medication? Of course. Will you support any measure or law or any idea from the president? Of course. But I cannot propose unless I introduce a bill, and that bill, like I told you. But the president and the Secretary of Health, they're already working on that.
Okay.
So what we're going to do in Congress is vote for that, and I'm all in it.
Understood. Another thing that you spoke about that you noticed during the debate was the fact that Jolanda Jones was looking at her phone in order to answer questions. Now,
She practically read everything from her phone.
Let's
put it as it is.
Okay, that's fine. As a candidate, how does that make you feel when you experience or witness something like that on a panel like a debate?
Listen, it's not fair, because the idea of a panel in a forum is for us to show our knowledge on the issues, how prepared are we to deal with the issues, the ideas we have to fix the problems or to propose solutions to the problems.
Understood.
So if I have to have a brain to feed me the answers to the phone and I'm going to read it, which it can be as fast as whoever is working for her and was sitting at the public go to AI and pull the answer. This is the world we're living. So can you trust that person? Because one thing is to have when you have a team, you have people that do research for you. And but it's my ideas. I'm like, I want to learn more about this. Understood. Because I want to find the solution about this. So with my research, but it's my idea, and then I put it in my words and I find the solutions, because that's things I've been researching. How can I solve the cancer cluster problem, which is another problem that
it is a very big problem. How would you, if you were able to solve it right now, how would you address that?
Listen, it's a convoluted problem because what happened? There's been lawsuits, and Union Pacific is being ordered to clean up. Is he cleaning it up? No, they're not. Why is it taking it so long? In the meantime, they're still building in that area.
They are.
Why is the city authorizing, any new builds in an area that is contaminated?
But why do you think they're doing it?
I believe they want to gentrify the area.
Okay.
And because and there was money offered to give the people to live there to relocate what they were cleaning. And they're not cleaning. And the people don't want to move because they feel if they move, they're never going to be able to come back to their homes.
Understood.
So that's the reality we're facing. And what happened is, if Union Pacific is being ordered to clean, why EPA has not made sure that Union Pacific cleans? That's what EPA is there. And that's when I say the bureaucracy of the institutions is the problem we're facing in the United States. And that's what I say my answer is I will engage EPA to make sure that Union Pacific does what they're supposed to do, which is clean, and make Union Pacific accountable for what they have done.
Well, let me ask you, what percentage of Fifth Ward has Union Pacific actually, cleaned or touched up on? What percentage?
I don't think they have done much because the problem continues and new cancer patients are coming out of the woodwork.
Okay.
It's a permanent problem. And it's like the talking point of all politicians. well, here's the problem. Yeah, I'm going to do something. Here's the problem. I'm going to do something. And I say, that's something that as a congresswoman, I can, if Union Pacific is being ordered to clean, then I can engage EPA and say, you need to come to the Fifth Ward and the Kashmir Garden and make sure that this is enforced. And we preserve, because these people have lived there forever. And I understand their fear, even though some people might say, well, but why they're not leaving for their health? Okay, even if they get money, where they're going to go? You're talking about their homes.
Correct.
You're talking about the people that have lived there for generations. That's the reality. This is people that have lived there for generations, and they're afraid that they might never be able to come back. And they're still building around. Better buildings, and these people might be thinking like, they're planning to kick us out. Would you think that?
Yeah, I mean, I would.
Yeah.
You see all the new buildings going up, the tax bracket is increasing, and when the tax increases like that, many people, again, they cannot economically afford to stay in these particular locations. Let's swing it to here. Venezuelan President Maduro stated that the United States is not fighting narcos, or they're not fighting drug trafficking. They are looking to annex for oil and gas. What are your thoughts on that as a Venezuelan?
As a Venezuelan, we are already an annex for oil for China and Russia and Iran.
Okay, why?
Okay, that's the answer. He is not the president. He is an imposter, dictator. He has lost many elections. There are communists, and what happened with communism, and I told you last time.
Yeah, we talked about that.
They run out of money, and what is left after they run out of money? Even having a country that is so rich in minerals.
Because the Trump administration has put, I believe, a $50 million
$50 million
bounty
but on him. So they run out of money, and what's next? Criminal. Crime. So now there are, that country, the head of that country, the regime, they're the heads of Cartel de los Soles, which is the biggest and major, drug cartel in the world. And they're running. So that country, imagine that country is being run by a drug cartel. So imagine that Pablo Escobar's dream, because that was Pablo Escobar's dream in Colombia. That was his dream, because he wanted to run for office because that was his dream. Finally, Nicolás Maduro and his people accomplished that. That's the reality. And when you go to Venezuela, China is immersed in Venezuela, Russia, Iran, and they're getting our oil, gold. You have no idea how many minerals where Venezuela is rich in minerals. So he already gave it to these people. Why is he even saying that?
Well, let me ask you a question about drugs. I mean, drugs are such a hard problem. Do you feel like the Americans could do something better on the border to combat drug trafficking into this country?
Which the president, Donald Trump, just did. The first thing he did is he closed the border. Because it was the main point of entry across the border. If you've never been to the border, if you never went to the border during the Biden time, I did a couple of times. It was horrible. It was horrible because I went with a cameraman from the area that I know he knows the point of entry, and there is many points of entry. It's a long border.
Yes, it is.
And he said the best way to catch them is they start coming around 6 a.m. or something. As soon as a brake light comes. So I was there and he took me, since he knows that he took me to the points that he knew there was entry. So we arrived before 6 a.m. and they started to come. And I counted 20 minutes, 90 in that one point. That one point, only one point, and we're talking about a long border.
Correct.
90 people in 20 minutes came with children, many with two.
Were there any Border Patrol agents there? It was just like a free-for-all? What was it?
It was free-for-all, and the Border Patrol was actually a welcome wagon.
Really?
Yeah. They came there, and they were like, well, here, and it was still the time they were giving them masks, sit here. Now, and then came a bus from the Border Patrol and loaded the bus and took them to a halfway house when they were processed. And then, so we went to a couple of points, and so the same thing, we went to the VIP point of entry.
What is a VIP point of entry? What is that?
Imagine how organized is this, and it's organized by the cartel. There is a point.
Are you stating that the Mexican cartel are in cahoots with the Biden administration? Are you, at that time, are you saying that?
Well, they let the border open and actually ordered the Border Patrol not to arrest anybody. Remember that?
I remember that. Yes, I do.
Okay, so ordering the Border Patrol not to do their job, and actually their job was to be in a welcome wagon. So this VIP entry functioned during the night, and it's a point near Rome, you know, Texas, because we're fantastic in Texas. We have Paris and Rome. Near Rome, Texas. There is a point where the distance in the river, it's almost nothing.
Okay.
It's almost nothing. And this, and where they came in the United States actually was a private property. And
yes, there were a lot of private property owners that were kind of having issues with that, almost to the point where they started to take up arms almost somewhere around the border.
Because they were coming. So this was private property, but not near the house, but it's still there was a landowner for that. And there, you only works at night because but that was like a short trip. Because if you come through any of the other points of entry, you have to walk for a long time. Many of the people that I saw, they were beaten. You know, they go through a lot while they're walking these long walks. Here is VIP because they just get to that side of the river and it's so short, and that is a short in a canoe here, and they come with bracelets. They used to come with bracelets in different colors.
What are these bracelets?
And the bracelets were like hospital bracelets, you know, those plastic bracelets in different colors. And so I asked, you know, because this cameraman has been doing, and there were some police officers that said, what do the colors mean? What is this? Because as soon as they came, they removed the bracelets and threw it right there on land. The colors mean the cartel they were brought to. Each cartel had a different color.
Ah.
Because the cartels are getting paid to get these people in. So they're doing, these people pay.
Okay.
I don't know where they get the money. You know, the immigrants pay the cartel.
Okay.
So they're smuggling the drugs, they're smuggling the people, they're getting paid by the people to come here. So it was many different points. Then we went to the halfway house. We found out where the halfway house was, and we went there, and of course they didn't let us in. And so we wait outside, and of course most of these people speak Spanish. I speak Spanish, and we saw some people coming out, and they were getting into like a small, like vans, not big buses, vans, and we asked them and said, oh, so where are you going? Are you going back to Mexico? Are you going, first of all, where are you coming from? And, well, Nicaragua, Venezuela, you know, the different countries. I said, where are you going back? I said, no, they gave me a ticket to go to New York.
Wait, who is they?
They can mean they at the halfway house. Who was running that business? I don't know. But then they were sending these people, they were sending to different places around the country.
Okay.
By plane. And then you wonder, how can you board a plane if you don't have documentation? Don't we all have to show
ID of some sort, yes.
And that's the mess that this country went through during those 4 years. Because these people without documentation, they were able to get on a flight and travel around United States. And so when you say the best way to stop drugs, yeah, thanks God. President Trump did it. The border is closed. It have gone down. It's like the illegal immigrants have gone down. Like I believe they say 94%, 95%.
Wow, that's a big number.
That's a big number.
Drastic reduction.
So, but still, they're still trying. I don't know if you've seen the boats they have, gotten in the middle of the ocean, loaded with drugs.
Now,
and then they're also bringing it through the north, and the north border is even bigger than the south border.
For Canada, correct?
Yes.
But again, it was some people saying, how does the Trump administration know that these boats are carrying narcotics? They were saying that there was really no investigation done.
Well, didn't you see how they were like throwing it on the sea when they saw the unloading the whole thing?
If that's the case, I mean, I get it, but there is a process of due process. But then again, you're in international waters. So my question will reformat and say, hey, listen, what is the protocol for the Trump administration to blast away essentially as someone that's in international waters? Wouldn't that be a conflict of interest of some sort?
Well, they already declared, look, hold on.
Okay.
Remember, they already declared Cartel de los Soles terrorist group.
And that's fine.
Okay? All the procedures have been taken. They already declared Tren de Aragua, that comes from Venezuela, it was created by the regime.
Okay.
A terrorist group. Okay? They already declared that Maduro is the head of Cartel de los Soles. There are criminal charges on him.
Do they have any linkage or any evidence to
They must have.
that?
Listen, we're talking that this is the DOJ of the United States. And remember, those charges were pressed in the first term of President Donald Trump.
Okay.
And originally, they put $15 million to Nicolas Maduro's head and to each one of the people that are near him, that are part of, there were 10 million.
Let's play devil's advocate here. He put a couple $50 million bounties on Maduro's head, right? Fine, right? But what if another country did the same to our president? I'm assuming that you would not be okay with that.
Well, they have to have proof to do that. And if the guy is a criminal, which is,
I mean, it doesn't.
They have to have proof. But the guy is a criminal. And look what they have done to the Venezuelan people. The people in Venezuela are starving to death. Venezuela is the country with the highest migrant problem in the world. Over 8 million people have fled the country because they're starving. We have over hundreds of people, political prisoners, anybody that goes against the regime. Well, they're living the life. They all have private planes, mansions around the world. And they've been tied, to the guerrilla. They've been tied to drug trafficking. And what happened is originally, and the drugs come from other countries, and Venezuela is being used as the promoter. And like I told you, what happened is oil, because the oil production went down in Venezuela, like it's not enough for them for the money they want to steal.
Okay.
Plus, they have given access to China and to all of these countries, not only to get oil, to get the gold. So they resort to crime. So President Trump, as soon as he took office, again, after seeing, obviously they have evidence that the fentanyl that is coming through the border came from Venezuela. Okay? So they closed the border. In January, he raised the bounty to 25 million, and much more recently, he raised the bounty to 50 million. And ordered his arrest.
I don't know. I'm not taking issue with it. I am a non-biased journalist. But there are, again, a sizable amount of people who are against such practices. For fear that the slippery slope of an argument would be that other countries could do the same to us.
Well, no, this guy is proven to be a criminal, and there are evidence. You cannot just go do that and let's put charges on somebody. Remember what happened with Noriega. They have the evidence with Noriega, and that's why they took down Noriega. It's very similar, and that's what I see that in Venezuela is going to happen very similar to what happened in Noriega. And it was because they proved, they have the evidence. That's why we have the best intelligence in the world.
You think so?
Well, yeah. Let me tell you, people keep criticizing the United States. We still are the best. We might not be perfect. We might not be perfect, but we still are the best. Okay? That's the reality. And I tell people, I said, I don't see anybody going in boats, leaving the United States to go any other place, but I see a lot of people coming here.
You know who else said that? I won't say rival, because he's independent. Vince Duncan, who's also running for the 18th Congressional District, he also made the same point.
And I really like Vincent. He's a super guy.
Yes, we do. Well, let's look at this here.
He made the same point.
He did.
Nothing is perfect. And that's the thing. People criticize the United States and said, but I'm a well-traveled person, and I come from another country. So I can tell you by experience that this is the best country in the world. And yes, we're not perfect. We have our problems, but we still have and let's work to make it better.
Okay.
Okay, because everybody wants to come here. But when you travel around and you see the things, and even Japan that is fantastic and is fabulous, that cannot compare to the United States.
Well, let me ask you, what are your thoughts on the reciprocal tariffs set by the Trump administration?
I totally agree.
Okay.
I think the Americans were abused by the tariff because these countries were not paying tariffs to bring their products while we have to pay tariffs to take our products out there. So it's not fair. So we say it's either reciprocal or not. So we have a free market. But you cannot suffocate the American people because at the end of the day, who is paying for this is the American people.
Okay.
And the Democrats have sold it like it's a bad thing. No, we have lost jobs because of it. Because many corporations and industries in the United States have sent their business outside because it's cheaper for them. Not only cheaper for them to make it outside, then when they bring it back to the United States, they don't have to pay tariff.
Okay.
Are you getting that? But if they make the product here, it's more expensive here, and if they send the product here to those countries, then they have to pay tariffs. So you understand? So we're thinking it's also bringing back our jobs to the United States that we so desperately need.
And we do desperately need jobs. However, the jobs are not here. The job numbers last month only did 50,000 brand new jobs in as of last month.
This will force eventually, and that's what I say, see Trump's hand, this will force all of these corporations to come back. Because when they realize, they say, well, now I have to pay tariff, and so it's more, I'd rather go back.
But what happens if these companies do not come back? Then what?
Oh, well, I have more ideas that I can propose to the president.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing. That is a really great
because
thing.
I cannot get another president, but I have ideas.
Okay. Sounds great.
Well, let me tell you, internet commerce. I think we should tax internet commerce.
Really?
Oh, we're talking about billions of dollars.
Yes, billions of dollars. People are buying so much stuff on, let's say, Amazon or something like that, that mainstream stores here, brick and mortar stores, can't keep up.
And they're closing them. And I believe in our small business people. So that's one. The other one is call centers. We used to have call centers in the United States, and that's a great job for young people recently graduated.
And I remember we talked about
single mothers, we talked about that last time. And they took all those call centers to other countries.
Look, now AI is there. AI is also answering phone calls now.
But first of all, bring them back. I hate when I call to certain places and although they speak English, I don't understand the accent. It frustrates me. And then we can bring that back. And many people still, I don't care if it's AI, but so many times when a computer answers, I just go 000. I want to talk with somebody with a pulse.
I am guilty of the same. I will tell you I do that.
I said, I want to talk with somebody with a pulse. Please.
Understood. I can actually, I can support that. I do want to talk to somebody that's an actual person. I just feel like I can connect with them and possibly make arrangements or whatever the case may be, rather than speaking with AI, which is set for preset answers.
Because it's going to give you the same answers.
Correct. And it does.
Like somebody I told you that is running against me, they give the same answers anytime. But we cannot dehumanize the world. And I understand AI and everything, and I think we eventually will adapt to what is okay for the world. Remember when computers came out, everybody was so afraid. Computers are going to take over the world.
I remember that.
And it didn't.
Well, in a way, it did. And we did adapt.
We did adapt, and it didn't wipe out a bunch of jobs completely. No.
Not completely, but there were people that did actually lose their jobs, but we gained new jobs.
Exactly. We gained different, and that's when I talk about trade education.
Okay.
We need to educate the people for the new jobs.
Okay.
We need to be prepared to do that because the world changes constantly, the Industrial Revolution, and we need to be ready. Right now, AI, we're not going to be able to go and hide from AI. Yes. That's a reality.
It is.
We need to adapt and we need to prepare the next generation. And I'm going to tell you something that is beautiful because it's my son. my youngest son, he's studying engineering, chemical engineering. And I'm like, honey, get on AI. That's the $500,000 job as soon as you graduate. Get on AI. You know, I'm like, and he's like, no, mommy.
Why not?
He doesn't like AI because it's taking jobs away from the poor people. This is my son. And when he told me that, I actually get teary-eyed because I'm like, oh. And I say, that's why you need to get in AI, because we need people like you that will work in AI and will protect precisely those peoples that would be greatly affected by AI.
I think a lot of people can really appreciate that conversation.
Yes.
I can tell that. I even here, I get the sense that you are still feeling the residual effects from that conversation now.
Because I told my son, you're a good man. You know, I raised a good man, but it dawned on me at that time that indeed I raised a good man.
Okay. You want to take a break?
Yeah.
Because I can see the tears coming down.
Yes, it's those moments as a mother that you are so proud. Yeah.
I can understand that. I really can. You want to break here?
Yeah. No, it's okay. No,
okay. Just want to make sure we're okay. All right. Okay. Cool. Great. Airlines. Delta's closing down. There's a huge possibility that Delta's closing down permanently at the start of the year. What's going on?
What's going on? I'm going to tell you, one of the saddest things for me as an American is to remember that we had the best. We had, and I'm saying in past tense, the best airlines in the world.
I remember going to the airport as a kid. It was an extravaganza. Mm-hmm. People would rent limousines to go.
Oh, you dressed well.
And you dressed well. There were no bonnets. There was no flip-flops, pajamas.
No. My mom told us all the time, they're going to treat you at the airport as they see you.
Correct.
So we dressed well. And even the luggage have to look. It was a pleasure. And it was the American service, because it was all about the American service.
It was.
We were the top in service. And I can tell you that I can fly any other airline in the world and they have much better service than our airlines.
What do you think happened? What happened to the service for these airlines? And again, more specifically, going back to Delta, they're considering shutting down. What's happening in America?
Well, I believe after September 11, the airlines were given too much power.
You think so?
Oh, yes.
Why?
Yeah, they use that to abuse the passenger, forgetting completely that the passenger is your client. Okay. It doesn't matter, it's your client. You're paying for it. We're not flying for free. And not only that, so they abuse and they took a power that they want to silence the passenger. And they abuse you until in 2017, you know, the scandal with the doctor became, and after that, that's when people start talking about the abuses that the airlines would have. And they, you know, you get there and, you know, I get to the airport and now I feel like, okay, well, I better stay quiet, shut up, because you don't know what they're going to do.
This is absolutely true. There is, in American airports, there is this tension in the air.
Yes.
It almost makes me uncomfortable to be there. I'm speaking for myself. When I go to the airport, I feel like I'm being overly watched. That's what I feel. I'm not saying anyone's actually doing anything. It's not a spark of paranoia. I just have that feeling that I'm being overly watched, I'm being overly monitored, and that I must undoubtedly act a certain kind of way not to draw any kind of attention to myself.
And if you cross the line, so I think service has been trashed, and then and something happened. Remember when the gas prices went up at some point at the beginning of this century.
Yes.
Okay, so the airlines came, now we're going to charge for luggage because of the fuel. Then the gas price went down, super down, that it was super low, and I was like, okay, well now, stop charging us for the luggage. Oh no, that didn't happen. And now they charge you for the ticket, they charge you for the luggage, they charge you for the seat. You already paid your seat. Oh, but once you already bought your ticket, you want to sit here, you charge you more, you want to sit. So it had become, and then on top of it, they mistreat you.
Well, let me ask you a question. Have you flew first class as of late? Mm-hmm. How was your experience in first class?
It was a Canadian airline.
Okay, so all right. I will say this. My last experience on an American flight, first class, was subpar. You know, the food was like the same food everybody else got.
Everybody
You're
else,
paying for extra. At best, I
And
can
you're
say
not
that
getting none
you're not
in the
getting
American
it.
Airlines.
I would say the most I got was a little extra leg room. That was it.
That's about it.
I should not have to pay for an extra bag of pretzels.
No, and let me tell you, they used to give you a drink and a bag of pretzels, and now, and they used to give a meal even in coach if the flight was long. You know, if it was a long flight, if not, they just gave you coffee, water, orange juice, and now if you're in a 4-hour trip, let's say from here to New York, from here to California, they don't give you a meal, even if you're in coach. They just give you in first class, but you say it's a terrible meal. It's like, why are you paying so much? It's ridiculous.
Paying so much and getting very little.
And you don't get service. Now, when you travel, you know, I went to Mexico once, and in a Mexican airline that I never heard of. It was like a brand new. I cannot even remember the name now because it was not Mexicana and I was like, oh my God, they invited me to give a speech.
Okay.
Because, you know, I advocate for victims. I call myself survivor of domestic violence. So I went yes, I'm a survivor of domestic violence.
That is a new fact. I didn't know that.
And I wrote a book about it. And
can you tell the viewers what that book is now?
It's called Stolen Identity. Is about my story of domestic abuse, and it have to do also with the abuse of airlines, how this person abused this person knew how to manipulate the airline and everything that happened. So I wrote the book because my message is in English and Spanish, stolen identity, identidad robada. My message is it can happen to anybody.
This is true.
I'm a educated woman, journalist, married to somebody that is also a professional, and it happened. And I believe the more educated you are, the more manipulation at this level there is, and that's the worst part. So I advocate for, and I rather call it survivors than victims. I hate the word victim.
I understand.
So I went to give a speech in Monterrey to a group of women, and they, of course, they gave me, and I'm flying out of, you know, the D, it was, and I'm like, let's see how it goes with this airline. Oh my God, the service was amazing. The flight attendant even took my carry-on, put it at the top. When in your world an American Airlines will help me with my luggage?
Like never.
Never. And that's the thing that United States has lost. And that's the thing that United States used to be known for, service.
Now it's just known for customer service. There's a big difference between service and customer service.
Customer service and AI answers.
Wow. Well, let me ask you, what would you advocate to change as far as that's concerned if you were in office right now? How would you advocate for that? And what bill would you introduce or try to get passed?
Well, first of all, you know, I think the main thing was all the laws that were passed right after September 11th were an abuse to our freedom and our rights. And that's, you know, the Patriot Act that have to go. And,
you think so?
And it inflicted into our freedom, and that was wrong. And then the airlines needs to have a coming to Jesus moment.
Okay.
Because let me tell you, and I wrote it in my book, I said Continental was a different airline than when they became United.
Understood.
Continental still was a human airline.
Do you think they should come back?
Definitely. I would love to fly Continental again. Okay. I'm so Texan. I love my Continental.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So, and what happened is, let me tell you, the fact that Delta is closing there will create more monopoly for United.
That is another
terrible
thing that a lot of people were noticing, that the monopolization of airlines, the monopolization of businesses, bigger businesses that are allowed to nationally buy up other smaller businesses to the point where there is no competition at all.
Actually, I always said it. The merge of United Continental should have never been allowed. Never been allowed. It's I think it hurt because in a way Continental took the identity of United instead of backwards, and it created a monopoly. And it should have never been allowed. I think we need competition, and I'm a capitalist.
Competition is good.
I'm a capitalist. I believe in competition. I believe that when you're a competing and say, oh, you're giving better service, let me do my service better. And what happened is, then they start shrinking those seats in coach and even in first class. And it gets to a point that, well, you're taller than me. You must have a worse time than me because already I'm 5'9" and already get on those seats and I'm skinny and already feel like I'm trapped in a can.
You know what?
Imagine
I
the taller
have
people.
seen these seats shrink in size over the decades. I have to say that. I remember distinctly as a kid, it was a lady who was like severely obese. They made her pay for 2 seats.
Well, sadly, see, that's a problem. But imagine you sitting in that seat that somebody's taking half of your seat.
Yeah.
It had happened to me.
Really?
That I'm
How did
in
you
the
navigate that?
corner. I request to be switched.
Okay. And did they
And
honor that?
sometimes it's possible, but sometimes if the flight is full,
Yeah.
you can't. So, and that's not fair.
Okay.
Because you are practically, I say, well, give me half of my
I understand. And what I like the fact about this conversation that we're having is that people are getting an eye or a perspective into you, not simply as a political candidate, but as a person.
Yeah.
I think that's really good. People are looking for that.
Well, and that's how I will be representing you. I will talk to the people. I'm a people person. And, the funny thing, I always say, people sees me at first and might think no.
Why?
Well, I think they see me because, the way I carry myself, and they say, oh, she must be, like we. But when people start talking to me, they're like, I love to talk to people. I love to listen to people. I love to listen to their problems and to look for a solution. Like, I know my district and I know the problems, and the difference between my contenders and I is they just talk about it. I'm looking for solutions. I have bills in place to start the solutions, to introduce in Congress, to start the solutions to the problems in my district. And of course, it's not going to be overnight, but I'm already as a candidate doing it. Why? I don't know if I'm going to win. I'm going to win.
So.
I'm going to win, but I already put the time to write those bills. You understand what I mean? I'm already doing the work because I want to be effective. And I care about the people. And I sit down like this Sunday. I was at the fiesta in Mesa talking to this guy who is in a wheelchair, and I wanted to listen to him. And he told me, said, we've been forgotten.
What do you mean they've been forgotten?
The whole area, this is the 5th ward.
Okay.
And they said, we've been forgotten. Nothing has changed. It's the same always. And many of these people are homeless, and nothing has been done. Now, like I said, even in the forum, we have so many empty buildings in the east side.
We do.
And warehouses. And we have $40 billion up in the air.
Well,
that we need to find out.
Do you think that this would be more of a local issue in which Mayor Whitmire should be addressing?
Well, what happened is, if he would to address it, he will start looking for the $40 billion of federal money that was allocated to the city.
Okay.
Which is a bill I have ready to introduce in Congress, because since it's federal money, I can introduce a bill to say, let's audit the city of Houston and Harris County to find out where the money is.
Okay. And I remember you speaking very briefly on that.
And we're only missing 1.5 billion.
Wait, only 1.5 billion?
No, hold on. We're missing 40 billion. But 40 billion. But to complete the budget to solve the drainage problem, we need 1.5.
Now, you know what?
So the money's there somewhere.
Okay, well, I
to
would say
solve
this.
that problem.
Prior to you coming on to this show today, we had a political rival. His name is Stephen Huey.
Oh,
Democrat. He was just here fantastic guy.
I really like him.
And we spoke very briefly
like
about
Beans. Like I have my favorite guys there.
Yeah, he's a very good guy.
Very respectful.
And he spoke about the drainage issue right here in Houston. And
which is a major problem.
It is a major problem. So my question is, Republicans and Democrats don't have to be separate. You don't have to fight each other. Would you work with him on a bill to help Houston with the drainage issue and flooding?
Well, there are very few of the Democrats that talk about working together, like Stephen is one of them.
Okay, great.
I'm definitely, because our mayor is a Democrat. So if we're not willing to work together, but what do the majority of my contenders on the Democratic side say? And you being on the forums.
Yes, I have been at the forums, but it's better when you say it.
They said they're going to go to Congress to stop any and everything that that Donald Trump and the Republicans want to do.
And
Don't they say that?
It is a very true statement, because we've heard Mr. Isaiah Martin say that, and we've also heard Mr. Manafee say that as well.
And so has Yolanda Jones.
Yes.
She said she will break quorum again, which she already did in the legislature in Austin.
I don't think that's a good idea.
No, because you are not willing to work together. You know, the reality is there was no way around with redistricting. It was going to happen. Okay? It was going to happen. And everybody on each side, Democrats or Republicans, they have done it. Okay? The commissioners court here in Harris County, they did it.
Okay.
They redistrict the commissioners court in a way that we only have one Republican. They deleted Jack Cagle out of his position. You know, they put in a position where he was going to lose.
I would say when that conversation took place about whether Democrats and Republicans could work together on the forum, Ollie Knox stated something that was actually really good, that you have to negotiate.
Yeah, but we can work together, but when you say negotiate, it's like, I'm going to sell a little bit of my spirit to you. No, we need to work together, but negotiate means what? It's pretty much, I'm going to give you an example.
Okay. Please.
So in 2022, when I was running for this district, many Republicans told my team, stop helping her, because if she wins, she's going to mess up the deal we have with the Democrats. So when Ollie Knox...
What is this deal?
Oh, well, I never found out. Probably it has something to do with the $40 billion we're talking about.
Okay.
Of course, nobody... But when Ollie Knox said that, that's what he's talking about. Making these deals. And these deals, it looks to me like, okay, you take Harris County and the city of Houston, and we take the suburban areas, and that's not good for the people, because look at the way this city is. So yes, we need to work together, and I'm willing to do it, because I cannot say I'm not going to work with the Democrats, because our mayor is a Democrat. The majority of the people in Commissioner's Court is a Democrat. So we were talking about Yolanda breaking quorum. That was going to happen. The Democrats have done it in other states. There are states where there is no Republican representing in Congress. They did it here in Commissioner's Court. There is only one man standing, poor Tom Rancy, which I was in a luncheon and he was taking. He's doing a fantastic job.
And I would love to have the opportunity to speak with him. So if you reach him out again,
I have a meeting with him. He is fantastic. He's an engineer, and and he's the only man standing there for to give another voice. And so that was going to happen. So instead of her breaking quorum, why didn't she stay and propose different maps? That's working together. See, that's the way I see it. I said, okay, this is going to happen. It doesn't matter what I do. This redistrict is going to happen.
You might as well just work together.
Exactly. So stay and say, well, you know what? Why don't we work together and try to make different maps in a way that we're all happy? I believe there is a way where we're all happy without negotiating and selling our souls.
Okay. Now, as a journalist, I don't think he was talking about selling souls, but I do understand where you're coming from. It is possible, and it should be possible, given that this is 2025, And then there's just a plethora of outlets and opportunities for people to make things better for people.
For people, but quitting and leaving, that's not the answer. When you were elected to represent, let me tell you, one of the things that the Democrats keep on saying in this seat is, oh, the people of the District 18 has been unrepresented for all these months. That's been their complaint. Mm-hmm. Well, the moment she left Austin, she left her people unrepresented.
Would that be close to being able to be called abandonment?
That too. She abandoned her seat. That's why there is talk, and there was talk at the time to take them down or the positions, because you were elected. Why you are abandoned your people? You are the voice of the people you are representing. Mm-hmm. Leaving is not representation.
Let me ask you, do you feel that the average voter has confidence in the voting system here in Harris County?
Oh, God.
I know it's a tough question, but I have to ask.
No, but Harris County is recognized as one of the most corrupt county in America.
Yes, it is.
You know that, I'm not lying. And with that corruptions comes all type of corruptions, and even election corruption. And that's why our governor, when he took time to select the day for this election and put it for November 4th, and the Democrats were crying, he took time and then he said, I'm doing this because we have a lot of problem with the elections in Harris County. So if the voters know or not, that's a reality. We have dead people voting. We have 100 people voting for the same address. We have illegal immigrants voting, and people is like, well, why not? No, the right to vote is a right you earn when you become a citizen of the United States. And I was so proud when I became a citizen in 2002. And I got to vote for the first time in 2004. It's my right. I earned it. It took me 14 years to be a citizen and then 16 years to be able to go to vote.
Wow.
So because it's a learning process, that I was not as involved to understand that I needed to vote in all these different elections, and nowadays I vote in all of them.
Let me ask you, what are Republican candidates in Harris County going to do for Black Americans that live in the 18th district? A very specific question for a very specific demographic.
Well, let me tell you, first of all, I believe I told you the other day, I said, we need to take colors of the conversation.
I think so too.
We are all Americans.
But unfortunately, there's a large segment of that population that doesn't see that perspective.
Yes, and what happens is when you serve, which is my intention to serve, I have to serve everybody the same way.
Understood.
And I understand that there are people in the district that have greater needs than others. And that's gonna be my main focus. And
Okay.
for example, one of the biggest issues in the district is difficulty accessing healthcare. And I believe I told you this last time. Say, how is it that we are in the city with the best and largest medical center in the world, and the people in our district have hard time accessing healthcare? So already have meetings with the medical center. And there is a lot of federal programs already in place that is not going to cost an extra penny, that nobody in this city have used for the betterment of our community.
Well, let me ask you, what would you do to bridge that gap?
Just for example, putting all these things to work, the federal programs available. I will make my office, let me tell you the other thing, the cases in District 18 sat for years without solution. I'm gonna make the office effective and get to work. And hold like town halls, but town halls information. If you need information about healthcare here, if you need information about property here, if you need information about property taxes, and do it probably once a month, when you can go and say, well, I need information. Oh, remember, this weekend on the month, our representative will have all those answers. You go to the booth that have those answers.
Okay. And food insecurity.
Well,
Your position on that?
Well, that's one thing. We have many systems,
Okay.
and that's the other misinformation that the Democrats are giving to the people. Okay.
Okay.
We have many programs that give food to the people, and they are being telling people, "Oh, the big beautiful bill is going to take that away from you." No, what the big beautiful bill is doing is taking off the roles of these programs the people that are not eligible. And who is not eligible? The illegal immigrants. Then there is also people that should not be there because they're 120, 130 years old. We know those people are not alive. So somebody's getting that benefit.
Yes.
So we need to clean those roles because the reality is welfare has grown 45% in the last 4 years. The last 4 years, what does that tell you? It's illegal immigration. We are not to provide for the legal immigrants. When I came to this country, I have to prove in every step, because I went through many different type of visas and status, in every step of the way, I have to prove that I was not going to become a burden for this country.
Understood.
And everything has changed. Oh, now the illegal immigrants come and they get everything. No, that's for our people.
A lot of people were upset about that.
Yes, but the Democrats lie with that and are convincing our own people in the district that that's bad. And when I said, no, it's about the illegal immigrants, and I'm like, what happened in 3 years? Because I remember in 3 years, people were upset that the illegal immigrants were getting benefit. Now you say, oh, they're taking the illegal immigrants off the rolls, and people go like they don't like that. And I'm like, people needs to understand that if we don't control our budget, we're going to run out of money. Everybody. We're putting in debt our future generations. We cannot go on a spending spread and spend more than we make and expect that things are going to work. So the reality is,
it's common sense.
We have 37, I believe right now, I don't know if it went up, $37 trillion in debt.
Okay.
Around that.
I do have a debt clock that's actually on.
Okay, last time I checked it was, so probably it's up because that keeps on rolling.
It just keeps rolling, yeah.
Keeps on rolling because of the interest and everything that we need to pay. And so we cannot still spending more than what we make. That's why the big beautiful bill is designed to cut spending. And of course the Democrats say, oh, but right now you're spending more. Well, right now, but the plan is a 10-year plan to cut spending.
You have to, because if you don't, you go into default.
Exactly. So, and the first things that we have to cut are these programs. And imagine, for example, eventually I'm going to need Medicare. I want Medicare there to exist. For me, how? And the people say, oh, they're going to take people. And I said, why would I destroy something that I'm going to benefit from, that my mother right now is benefiting from it? Eventually, I'm going to earn, I already earned my codes for Social Security. I want Social Security to be there so I can get that benefit, you also. So the only way we're going to have those programs there for us Americans, if we save them, but if they go on bankruptcy, we're not going to have
That is a very big deal. I mean, I can't speak about how many times we almost reach a governmental shutdown. Typically anywhere between 3 to 7 years, every 5 to 7 years, there's a governmental shutdown or something like
and
that.
They usually do it in December, especially the Democrats love to do that.
Very unfortunate. Recessions, there's some whispers of recession possibly coming here to the States by just a select few people. I mean, it is really a big deal if anything like this happens. We're going to wrap up here, and we want to say this. First off, where can people find you?
Carmen, number 4, congress.com. Go to my website. You can sign in to volunteer. We need a lot of block walkers, and you can also donate, whatever you donate, Because the good thing about donating, even if you can donate $1, $2, $3, $5, if you feel you're part of it. So the day on November 4th, when I win, you're going to say, we won. We're all part of it. And that's my website, Carmen number 4 congress.com, and then Instagram, Carmen number 4, Carmen number 4, at Carmen number 4, same thing in X, at Carmen number 4. And you can find me everywhere. By the way, let's talk about the 17 amendments. I have posted all of them there.
Wow.
They're not bad. They're good for all of us. So, read them, learn it, vote for them. It is not true. The Democrats say, they're terrible, don't vote for that. How it can be bad that they're going to lower your property taxes?
I think a lot of people are misinformed.
They are misinformed because I said, how many young people cannot afford to buy a house, and the old people are losing their homes because they cannot pay property taxes?
This is true.
So how is that bad? Well, that's going to be in the ballot on November 4th. So read about it. I have it all published. Learn about it and make sure you vote for me on November 4th. I'm the last name. Do you think that was by coincidence? I'm the last name in the ballot, okay? The last name.
Well, we're definitely going to say this. Make sure you follow her on her Instagrams and log on to that website. If you feel that you want to donate, please go ahead and donate to her. Understand that VEDA World News, VEDA Communications does not endorse any political candidate, as we are political atheists. We just simply allow the candidate to explain their positions and their perspectives for your edification. Again, my name is Michael Thurville, photojournalist and sociologist here at VEDA World News. You can see this episode and more on VEDACOM.com. That is VEDACOMM.com. See you soon.
Thank you.